Hello captains, welcome back to part 2 of the video. If you're finding us for the first time, then basically what I've done is I've stripped my flight simulator off my computer with all my add-ons, and we are now in the process of adding each one by one. And in this video I've added Orbx Global and Orbx Vector to the default P3DV4.3. So what we're seeing outside now is just the global, and just the vector changes to the P3D default. The airport there is Rex Airports HD. So let's get in the plane, let's take off, and let's see what it looks like. Now if we're pointing the right way, we should be able to land on a runway just over the island. If not, we will have to turn around, but I can already say that there is a big difference here to the airport. The models look different as well as the textures. This runway looks a lot different as well. There is a lot that's changed, definitely. Flaps, we need flaps down, take off. Go, take off, flaps up now. So, I think we are pointed the wrong way. I think we need to turn around here. I believe, just see over, yeah. Oh, where are we? I don't know. You know what, I'm not too sure actually. Yes, we are. That's the runway we want to be on. So let's. It's done what I thought. Let's turn around. So here we have Orbx Global and Orbx Vector now using the textures on the ground and placing them in the correct order, adding a few buildings. You can tell that's the original texture of P3D. That looks exactly the same as it did before, but everything around it has changed. Let's fly the runway heading. Yeah, see now all this here hasn't really changed much. This is what the same kind of texturing we were looking at before. Even this here, I believe, was the same. Frame-wise, I think we've taken a little bit of a hit, like 5 maybe frames, but not that much to be honest. Right, let's not get too high here. Land on that runway there, which I've done loads of times before, so there's no reason why I can't do it now. Looking out the windows, yeah, that's what we've been seeing in the past, except for what's beyond. That looks slightly different. Side, that looks exactly the same, but now that it makes more sense, the layout of it, it's the same textures as the defaults. It's exactly the same, but they're laid out in more logical order. The water looks different. It doesn't have that reflectiveness. Some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's the time of day. It's 10 o'clock. I've set the time for 10 o'clock because that's the kind of time that we were flying before. There's the runway ahead. So this looks a little bit different now. There's less land here than there was before. First stage of flaps. It does. I mean, there's boats now I can see that weren't there before. layout of everything is different. It has changed. There's more water than I remember before. It'll be interesting when we do land and we turn in on the second taxiway, what in fact it'll look like. So yeah, previous video, this is part 2 of part of 3 videos I'm doing. So the first part, we went to the UK, we checked out Birmingham Airport, we checked out Cardiff, and we checked out Chester, and we saw a big difference in all 3 areas. In fact, because I've also got Orbx Land Class of Europe and Land Class sorry, not Land Class, but the regions for England, it looked like VFR flying. It looked really good, and there was no hit to the frames at all. We're way high here. There was absolutely no hit on our frames. This has taken a hit. We were getting 50 frames at some points during our previous videos, and now we're down to like 30 on average. That should be just final stage of flaps, and let's bring her in for a landing. But for some reason it's now gone down to 30 with the Orbx added, so it hasn't fared too well, but it might be because there's a lot more water, which means there's a lot of boats added in as well. Right, here we go. Get a bit of a crosswind going. That breezes over into the middle nicely. Okay, let's get this puppy down. And landed. There we go. And we need to turn off on the second. Now I can already see these trees were not here before. These palm trees were not here before. The airplanes were not here before. There's a lot more airplanes now. I think it's this taxiway. This looks like it, yep. Oh gosh. Bit too thingy there. Bit too late on the old taxiway turning. Hit a sign as well. So buildings look different as well. I mean, this all looks very different. Look at that. These houses were there, they were the same, but this has changed. There's airplanes here now that weren't before. It all looks very different. Oh my gosh, look at that. So Orbx has done some magic here. Now these were the frames we were getting before when we flew over without Orbx, and now we're getting them on the ground. So there you go. Right, let's go to the Grand Canyon now and check out what it looks like. So what difference are we going to see in the Grand Canyon? Well, we are going to see, I believe, a lot of big difference, because the textures on the terrain will be different, because Orbx Global and Orbx Vector will be utilizing their textures and placing things more accurately. I have a land class for North America as well, so it's put in where it should be. But there is no region. I haven't installed anything for the Grand Canyon, so the look of the textures will only be enhanced by what Orbx have enhanced them with. They won't drastically change until I add in some mega scenery stuff. That's when the next big Grand Canyon update will happen. So in the first part, we went to the UK, and we really saw a big difference, massive difference. Everything looked exactly like it should. When I went to Chester, I recognized everything, and I could even fly VFR flying through the area that I knew. Birmingham, I've not been to Birmingham Airport in a while, and I don't remember a golf course off to the side of the runway, but there is one there now that suddenly appeared. And there has been a big update to the airport as well. Even Cardiff, we went and flew Cardiff as well, and that is an Orbx airport, and that looks mega different to the Rex Airport HD that was installed before. It had photoreal textures. It had lots of new additions of planes and stuff. It looks really good, and then it had the Orbx countryside surrounding it with Orbx Global, Orbx Vector, Orbx Land Class, and the region of England, or so the region of Wales, sorry, as well. Now, Grand Canyon, we haven't got any regions. There's nothing there, so it probably won't look too dissimilar. Yeah, it looks very similar, in fact. This house is different, and there's a woman there walking. Gosh, what's she doing? Someone's walking around there.
On runway 21.
In fact, let's just go outside and have a look. Be easier. Spin this around. There is somebody over by that plane there. These houses are different. Look at that. This is Orbx, I've added this. I don't know what she's getting up to, but does she even live there? I don't know. So, plane-wise, obviously nothing has happened to our plane different. The only difference is these flashy lights. I added a light package, and I believe it was called AI Light Freeware. And it just enhances your plane's lighting system. The airport texturing will be supplied by Rex HD airport textures, and I've noticed a difference.
On runway.
But everything else is exactly the same.
On runway 2.
Right, well, we're going to be off runway in a minute, love. Now we need all the flaps we can get at this airport. High altitude we are at. Yeah, the terrain here, that looks exactly the same with FS Global. It looks a bit darker. The colouring looks a little darker. There's a plane there that wasn't there before. That must be Orbx. Oh, hello. No, we don't want to do this. Oh my gosh. Go away. Sorry about that. Windows 10. Having a good time. Yeah, the colouring looks slightly darker, looks different. That must be Orbx. There's a windsock there. We can try and take off now, I think. Yeah. It's so hard to get this plane in the air without stalling it. In the Grand Canyon because of, where we are. I mean, I'm 50 miles an hour. And I should be at 65, really. Some flaps up. Some lift going. See what I mean? Do the flaps down again. Leave them down for a bit. So yeah, texture-wise, it looks the same texture. That is, gosh. Let's turn our heading 300. That's where we were. It's so difficult to fly a trainer plane in the Grand Canyon. If you're not used to it, that is. I mean, it probably isn't difficult, but I've never done it really, apart from these videos. So, right, getting the flaps up, we can manage that. Right, so we should be heading straight for the spot. To be honest, I haven't noticed a massive difference here with the Orbx Global and Orbx Vector because there's hardly any roads around here. The textures look exactly the same as they did before. There's been no difference there. The airport looks a bit different, and that's basically it. I don't think the actual canyon itself is going to look any different either. I think that's probably going to look the same. I'm pretty sure we flew off to the east to see something before, but I'm also sure that we've been flying in this direction to get to a certain point as well. That looks slightly different, just over there. What it did with the Orbx, the FS Global. Right, let's. We're going to be going into this. Yeah, Grand Canyon's not a great example, I think. To show off what Orbx can do, because there's no roads, there's no bridges, there's no features for VFR flying. It's the textures that you really need to see the difference with. So I guess Mega Scenery, when I install the Grand Canyon of Mega Scenery, this is going to look a lot better, or at least a lot different. I don't know if it'll be better, but at the moment my frames are better than Florida, so and that's probably because there's so much generic patterning going around. I think we need to go over this way. Actually, I'm pretty sure that was the shelf drop off that we went through. These look a little bit greener than they did before. I don't know if it's me or not, but they do look slightly different. When we flew through here in the first video, it looked a bit different, I must say. And the bottom of the Grand Canyon was like a sand. It didn't go down far. The bottom seemed to be not too far from the top. When we put in FS Global, it dropped a little bit and added a lot more rocky outcrops. I'm hoping when we fly over, the textures perhaps were replaced a little bit. This texturing here, this yellow and green, that was on the roof, just here and here, which I cannot no longer see now. So I'm guessing that Orbx have changed that, and if they've changed that, I'm hoping the rocks here, they looked like Super Nintendo rocks, and they look different right now as I'm flying into it. So I'm hoping that the canyon itself has changed slightly. This is where we flew before, definitely aeroground. So that rock looks different. It looks a lot like a different type of rock. The bumps and lumps, they kind of look the same. I don't think there's been much of a change here, but this now doesn't have this patterning on the top, which looks really bizarre, by the way. When we first flew over, I think it was in the second video, when I got the C152 installed, the top here just looked bizarre. It looked like a cake or something, but now it looks a lot better. The rocks here look a lot different as well. So Orbx has changed the Grand Canyon to look a little bit better. Obviously not perfect, but better than it was before, definitely. Right. Frame-wise, we're doing like between 30 to 70, so frame-wise, it's actually really good. Yeah, definitely. Well, that rock is definitely a lot different. They've added texture to the rock as well to make it look different. Gosh, it has made a difference there. Big difference, really. Also, they've changed the look here. It's still loading in, I know, but they've changed the look here as well. It's still it still doesn't look exactly like it could. Like, I have seen this look a lot better. And I think when we install Mega Scenery X, it's going to look a lot different then. But what, this looks so much different than what when we first flew in here. Oh gosh. Gosh, we've lost RPMs, guys. My mixture isn't mixing. Is that's not even working, that lever. There we go. I don't know what happened there. Lever doesn't work for my mixture. That's what it is. Right, okay, that was a bit scary then. This, oh my gosh, that looks so much better now. Look at that. Before, that was just a thin line going through, but now it actually goes right down, and it's actually a proper looking river. Oh, there's been so much change here. This looks 100% better. This did not look like this before. This looked just so bland and boring, and I didn't even fly this far because it didn't look that good. This looks a lot better. Oh my gosh. Right. That's that. Let's go to Dallas Fort Worth Airport now, and let's see what DFW looks like. Again, all we're going to have is, we'll keep it to 10 o'clock. All we're going to have is Orbx Global, Orbx Vector, and the land class of Northern America, and that is it. There is no region for Texas. I haven't installed Mega Scenery Texas yet, but I will do. So this is that pre-Mega Scenery Texas video where we're going to get to see what Texas looks like before Mega Scenery is installed, and then obviously we'll see what it looks like after it's installed as well. But the airport is going to be Rex Airports HD plus whatever Orbx has done to the airports. I think it's added the North American or the Northern American airports pack as well, which means we get more planes, more features at the airports. So it's going to look very different than what we saw it in a previous video. We saw it pre-Orbx, which means it just had Rex Airports HD in it, and I really struggled to find a little. They only had minor inclusions from Rex. Rex didn't change or overhaul the whole airport. There were just small, subtle changes like the taxiways, the gates, and the runways. So I'm expecting a bigger change now. And then of course, obviously with Mega Scenery X installed, it's going to look different again. It's going to blend in differently to the surrounding. And then when I install my DFW airport from Dream Team, that's going to be the biggest difference, I think, in the future. And then that will be Texas all updated. I have got Miami City X. I don't know what that does for Eglin, if it does anything, but I also have got Florida X from Mega Scenery, which that again might change the look of the airport for Eglin Airport. So this is the last airport that we're going to be going to. In part 3, we're going to fly over Africa and Hawaii. Now Africa, I'm not expecting anything to really look different, but this is a chance to see Africa before I've installed some OFX Africa scenery, so it should then look different then. And the same with Hawaii. When we go to Honolulu, the Honolulu airport might look a little different because of Orbx, but the surrounding countryside really shouldn't look that drastic, just it for what Orbx Global does to it and the Vector does to it. But then I've got some Hawaiian Islands freeware, which should change everything quite drastically, and I'm very interested to see what that does to it. So here we are at DFW. Not much by the looks of it has changed. See my mixture control, I don't know why that suddenly just disappeared, but it has. flaps down. DFW hasn't seen that much of an update. That looks the same. These towers are different. I'm pretty sure that's what Orbx has thrown in. I could be wrong, but that seems to have a different skyline than it did before. Let's get in and find out. So the runway looks the same.
On runway 35, left.
What we'll do is we'll take off, we'll come back around, we'll do a flyover of the airport, because I do think the airport might look a little bit different. The gates will be from Rex HD, but there will be some other stuff included. But to be honest, this looks pretty good as a default scenery. Flaps up. As a default scenery airport, this actually looks really good. There has been a lot of change here. I think Orbx and Rex have both had their hand in and changed the look of it, especially the taxiways and the runways. And because of that, it looks a lot different than the default stuff. What's going to be the biggest change is what's lying around outside. It still looks flat, but then that's Texas for you. The area around Dallas is very flat. It looks like it's using still the default terrain. We still get very poor frames. Like, frames were never good when we flew over the first time in default. I think we were getting like 60 to 70 frames with the default settings and everything. We're still getting between 20 to 30 frames, so I'm still happy. Let's fly over and see what happens. Everything looks a bit different. I don't know if that's a texture problem, these blacks, or if it's the sun. I think it's a texture problem because it's coming in. It's just a slow load, I guess. Let's change over. Are up. Right, here we go. So at the moment it's about 20 frames per second, which, as you can see, it's still flying okay, but there is a little stutter on it. It's still smooth enough to fly and enjoy, but we will need to tinker, I think, with this one. But maybe after I install Dream Team's airport, that'll be different. At the moment it has changed. Things have changed down here as well, I'm pretty sure. These towers, these poles here weren't there before. There are a few markings now that look different. Obviously gates don't look any different. Still no planes there, really. That American Airlines building was there before. All that looks pretty much the same. Yeah, I'm guessing not much has changed. Time to buzz the tower. We're coming in to buzz the tower, baby. When I say buzz the tower, I don't mean take it out. But Hello, how you doing? Just some illegal flying over DFW here. Right. Yeah. I like the markings on the, get back to it. Markings down there, they look really cool. That's Rex, I believe. And that. Looks, yeah, all looks very interesting. Right, shall we try and land this puppy in a very interesting way? I think so. Let's see how sharply we can turn on our runway. Here we go. There's the runway. It's not very that long. I thought it was a bit longer than that. Down. Okay, here we go. Yep. Flaps now. Flare this sucker up to stalling speed. Reduce. There we go. And down. Oop. Touchdown. Right, there we go. That was interesting. So, yeah, that's it for this video, I think.
4,000.
In the next video, we're going to go to Africa and we're going to go to Hawaii.
Remaining.
This is what DFW looks like with this airport that it has now. It has still the default airport, but the textures, some of the buildings are from Rex Airports HD. There's a few touches by Orbx, but we haven't installed a payware DFW yet, and that's where we're going to see the change in the frame rate. So thanks for watching this video, and in the next video I shall see you in Honolulu. Take care. Bye bye.